Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to doom, Pirates of the Disturbance, and I'm gonna start skipping. We're gonna start Keith's route today. I loaded our I loaded our save in chapter 1 so we didn't have to go through the intro song. But then again, now I know you just click the plus button because that's how we're skipping the credits. So I'm sure that's exactly how you do it. But whatever. So listen, this one the buttons are all fucking weird. So just whatever. I'm too old. I don't care. We're doing shit this way. Anyway, this one is let's go fishing together. Let's go fishing, Keith. Fishing. What do you intend to catch? The kind of huge fish you can only catch in the ocean, of course. Oh, maybe squid would be nice, too. I think to catch those types of things, you'd need a specialized fishing vessel. We've been fishing ever since we were small. Don't you remember, Keith? Ah, this is actually a new memory scenario. Fishy first. The other ones... Wait a minute. I want to go back for a hot second and make sure Jordos were the same as the common routes, and we didn't actually, An exciting promise and first dance lesson. Okay, hold on. We might have missed one in Jordo's route, and somebody will probably let me know. But here's the thing. You haven't seen any of this yet. Literally the first part hasn't gone up yet. Common route. No, an exciting promise. Oh, no, wait. Wait. We did miss one in Jordo. Hold on. Exciting promise and first dance lesson. Wait, no. Exciting promise of first dance lesson. Okay, never mind. All right. So we did not miss any in Jordo's route, in the common route. But I closed Keith's guide. Okay, so cool. So Jordo's are different. I guess that's the only thing about skipping that really sucks. Oh, no, this one has exciting promise first dance lesson. And then after that, we don't until we get into his route. I'm just checking. So whatever. Okay. Good. At least for this, and what I'll say so far, what it seems like, because this is obviously only the second round, the memory scenario, for example, for Keith, like this, it's based on a choice. So we make Keith's choice, the memory scenario pops up as we're reading. Okay, cool, we go into it. It's not like skipping and it's going to be a different one in the middle. Like some of the other ones pop up kind of in the middle as you're already skipping through, and you're like, well, wait, because they're based on the choices you make. So that makes sense. Okay, listen. It's been a few days for me because I did not record another route in our other game because I'm 6 weeks ahead on that one. I'm only a month ahead on this one. Case in point, I'm recording Keith's route. We're starting today, and the first part of this hasn't even gone up. If you're seeing this, the channel hasn't been taken down for recording this. Also, I'm sure someone is going to post because I'm sure someone has left a comment or will. Here's the thing. Again, I'm recording this before I've looked at the comments for anything for this week or anything like that, but 9RIP is getting a localization, and I'm fucking excited! We don't have enough games to play, and that is an understatement. We have so fucking many. I don't know if there's 10 fucking games that we either have come out or are coming out, and only one of those is 2025. The rest of them are for this fucking year, and it's holy shit, that's not counting the several games that we are sitting there backlogged on we're never going to play this, or ones that I've forgotten about. I can't. And they just keep, you know what? This is a problem I love having. It's slightly overwhelming because you're when are we going to play all these? Because you want to play them all. All. Fuck. Shit. I haven't even bought Tengoku Struggle yet. Okay, I usually pre-order them, but I'm just gonna get it on my just buy the digital copy. And I'm I haven't even done that yet because it's well, we're not playing it yet. But I have a list in my notebook of all the games coming out that I don't already own or haven't pre-ordered. So I got them all written down and I cross them off when I buy them. So I know. As soon as a new one gets I just write it in there. And I got the when it's coming out, like, I keep track of this shit. But I don't always see the announcements. And luckily, I just happened to see Idea Factory International post something on Facebook, and I was like, well, I'm sorry, what now? Otome game localization announcement? What? And then, like, I totally forgot, though, again, between yesterday and today, that they were announcing until I opened an Otome Kitten posted on Twitter and was like 9-rip localization. And I was like, fuck yeah, it was! Because that's what I was hoping for, guys. Here's the thing. I've wanted that game localized since the first time I saw the fucking art for it, and I had no clue what the game was about. I'm like, I like that art. I'm into it. Yes, let's get this one localized. I had no clue until more recently what the fuck it was about. I'm like, I don't care. Hot boys. I am a simple person. Anyway, let's get back into playing this game. But we're just so far ahead, so I know someone's going to say something. So me, present me, talking to past you, but I guess this is future me? I don't know. I'm very confused about what time is when we do these things, but like, yes, I know. And I'm excited. So excited. I won't see comments for all because I don't read comments every single day. Because but I just want to, I'm like, so, damn it. Anyway, fishing. Oh, we're Keith. Fishing. As I watch sister, prepare to do some fishing on the deck of the vinculum, I think back to a time when we were children. When I was still new to the Clays family. When I was still scared to leave my room, sister always took me out to see new places. She showed me the estate, its garden, her farm. Even now I remember how free I felt walking through the garden hand in hand with her on a sunny day without criticism. And then, sister shocked me when she said she was a skilled fisher. She even promised to teach me one day when I told her I had never fished before. Oh, how bewildered I was. Even someone as sheltered as I knew that fishing was far from a common hobby for noble women. So at first I thought she was simply joking to make me laugh, as I was still new to the Clays family. But truly, I was naive. Several days later, I would realize that sister was completely serious. Keith, we're going fishing today! On that early morning, sister came bursting through my door and marched into my bedroom. At that time, I was still curled up in bed, fast asleep, and before I could even react to her sudden entrance, sister ripped the sheets away and tore open the curtains. It's a beautiful morning, perfect for fishing. I hate her now. I'm sorry, I have no desire to ever fucking fish. Like, fine, go do it if you want, but like, my god, it seems like the most boring fucking thing. No, it's relax. God, no, it seems so boring. I'd rather sit and stare at the wall. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm like, oh dear god. I even hate making my Sims do it when we play Sims. Like, fish, I don't wanna! Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I had to fish in a past life, and I'm just still, like, upset about it. I'm pretty sure I died in a fire in a past life, and that is why I am just fucking constantly paranoid that my house is gonna burn down. And, like, when I was a child, have I told you this story? I one time packed up, we had one of those the Fisher-Price, like, shopping carts. I feel like everybody had one of those. And I, like, put all my favorite stuffed animals in it and, like, tied my blankie over them to keep them in because the shopping cart's small and I had so many stuffed animals that I wanted to save, and I was prepared for when the house burned down I could just grab that and run out with everything. I was a child. Why was I like 5 or 6 preparing to die in a fire? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I watched a scary movie. It's not like when I was little and I was scared I had to run and jump into bed because I thought Jaws was going to bite me through the fucking, like, was going to get me through the carpet because, like, sharks swim in your carpet. You know what I mean? Like, I seriously was afraid to, like, get out of bed and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night because I thought Jaws was going to get me. Like, kids are stupid, you know what I'm saying? And, like, that at least made sense. I saw Jaws. Jaws is horrifying, but I don't think we saw a movie where anyone was, like, burning anything down. But, like, have that trauma memory. So I swear to God, and I'm still, every once in a while it'll pop in my head and I'm like, oh God. And I just start having like panic attacks, like thinking about what would happen if I lost everything and I can't handle that. And I don't want to think about it right now because see, I'm going to like freak out. Why? I've never been through anything like that. I don't want to ever. It's horrifying. So I'm pretty sure I died in a past life in a fire. So I'm just saying. So I'm pretty sure I was also traumatized by being made to fish. And that's why I don't want to ever. Therapy time with Spacey. Have fun with that one. Anyway, you learn so much weird shit about me when we're playing these games, and it makes no sense, but here we are. Anyway. Confused, I turned to see what Sister was looking at, with no idea why she was there. Gaze was on the window, and just as she had said, the blue sky was beautiful. Wait, did she just say fishing? I was still so shocked by Sister's sudden entry, I didn't even ask. I just sat in bed, stunned, as the maids who usually cared for us hurried into the room and chucked Sister into the hall. They then quickly dressed me for the day. After my sudden awakening, we ate an early breakfast, and then Sister took me out into the garden. Still sleepy. As I rubbed my drowsy eyes, we walked to the stream that ran through the garden, hand in hand under the clear sky. Today I'm going to teach you how to fish, as promised, so listen carefully. Sister was always cheery, and that day she looked even more radiant, perhaps from the weather. But it made me happy too. The warmth of her hand helped me relax, and I began to think it might truly be a wonderful day. I soon realized just how wrong I was. Here, this one's yours, Keith. Mine? Sister handed me a small box. I opened it, unaware of what was inside. Worms? I am well aware of how pathetic it was, but I screamed and accidentally dropped the box the moment I saw what was inside. What? Keith, what happened? Sister hurried to me, who was frozen in shock, and held my hand anxiously. Oh no, did they bite you? No, they didn't. I mean, first of all, what are they? Inside the box Sister handed to me, there was a massive, strange, thin, string-like creatures wriggling about. You've never seen a motherfucking worm before, kid? What are they? They're worms. I realize we're supposed to talk in kid voices, but, too late. Worms. I had heard of them before, but since I rarely ever played outside, it was my first time seeing them with my own eyes. Fucking rich kid problems, right? Or more precisely, it was my first time ever seeing the creature stuffed into a small box. I'll give you that one. A book I read said that worms were bugs that lived in dirt. So why were they stuffed in this little box? Are worms actually bugs? That's baffling to me. Are worms actually bugs? Somebody who knows this shit? No, worms were worms, not, bugs. I don't know. Are worms bugs? Why does that just seem, wrong? Anyway. Still confused, I turned to Sister. Her shoulders drooped apologetically. I'm sorry, Keith. That was inconsiderate. I didn't know you didn't like bugs. Looking at the downhearted way Sister picked up the box, I realized she had no ill intentions when handing it to me. Well, it's not that I hate bugs, but surely anyone would be surprised if they opened a mysterious box and saw so many worms. I mean, let's be real. I don't hate a lot of bugs, but it would sure scare the bejesus out of you if you opened a box and there was a fuck ton of bugs inside, or worms or anything. Ladybugs are adorable, okay? But if you opened a box and ladybugs just bust out, it would scare you a little bit, because you'd be like, the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. It's kind of like, I don't hate spiders, there's a lot of them in my house, but when you're sitting there and Speedy likes to go zooming by you, you're like, Jesus Christ, would you stop it? There is now a new spider in my house. Speedy McLegs. He's small. His legs seem he's not like a daddy long legs. He's tiny, but his legs are very long. It's just, whatever. But he also runs bazillion miles an hour, and you just all of a sudden see him zooming, and he likes to stay in eye level, and you're like, could you not go up in a corner or something? Because you're just doing something, like, Jesus! And because there's just this tiny spider zipping across the wall, it scares the crap out of you. You know? He's tiny and harmless, but he still scares you, you know? So yeah, I'd be kind of scared opening a box of worms. Because worms are gross. And then again, His sister didn't seem to think so. And perhaps I, as her adopted brother, I needed to warn her to not do it to anybody else. As I watched her, his sister pulled one of the worms from the box with a sigh. I thought worms were the best bait for beginners because fish love live bait, but I guess he doesn't like bugs. Live bait? That was how I discovered what the box of worms was for. His sister intended to use them as live bait. And she could have said that before. If she had, I wouldn't have dropped it, and I certainly wouldn't have screamed. But his sister thought I was averse to worms. She seemed to have given up on live bait. Instead, she handed me a wooden something. Then you can use a lure today. What's a lure? Wondering what it was, I looked at Sister to clarify. Oh, I asked Sister to clarify, sorry. Sister, what is this? Lures are artificial bait for catching fish. We can't catch them without bait after all. Oh, by the way, I handmade this one. Look, I made it just like a real fish. See how realistic these scales are? Right. It's shaped like a fish? Given its unique shape, I figured it was a creature I hadn't seen before. And to my surprise, it was a fish. Are you trying to tell me you've never seen a fish before? I made it because I wanted to try using a lure, but carving the wood with a knife was so hard. I heard fishing with lures is pretty hard, so I was planning to use it myself. But if you can't use living bait, I'll give it to you. His sister handed me the supposed fish lure with a smile. Okay, so basically, see, it's a fish, and aren't the scales awesome? Okay, sweetie, nice try, is basically what it is. It's the nailed it, basically, is what. Thank you, sister. Receiving the lure, I took a closer look at it. Truly, there was nothing remotely fish-like about it. Can I actually catch fish with this? All right, let's get to fishing. If you need some help, just ask me anytime. Sister began to fish using the worms. I tried my best to copy her actions with the handmade lure. But as I thought, the fish didn't seem to acknowledge the strangely shaped lure, so, well, I did see it coming. I ended up not catching a single fish that day. Yes. Okay. Anyway, we've been fishing ever since we were small. Okay. I do remember. There's no way I could forget. Great! Now let's do this! Alright. Hi, Katerina! I don't know who's saying hi, Katerina. Oh. I turn around and there's everybody. I forgot what part where we were, actually. That's true. This is before all the boys show up, and now Keith's just exasperated because everybody who's trying to steal us away. I gotta be honest. I love this game, but it's also very frustrating. Jesus goddamn Christ. We wave at the shore. And we were already at that. Okay. But it is frustrating when you're like just in Jordo's route, where it's like everyone's trying to get at you and you can't. You're like, God damn it, give me a moment with my man! They really make you feel the pain of your love interest. Like, she's totally clueless. But as the player, you're like, oh my God, the poor man that's trying to be in love with us. And all these chuckle fucks not letting it, like, oh my God. It's kind of amusing because it's a little frustrating. You know what I mean? So, like, they did a good job with that. It says cover it up. Okay, this is not... Oh, no, we're not there yet. Okay. I was like, cover it up and never showing. Play with the water gun. I was like, that choice has never fucking shown up. It says, like, the one that I scrolled up a little too far. Anyway, play with the water gun. First, let's go with this. I pick something up the moment I see it, but it causes Keith to make a troubled expression. It says, like, after your first playthrough, but it's like, do I have to, like, start, like, we did the common route. We started a new save when I did Jordo's route, and that choice never came up. So I'm guessing the after your first playthrough is after your first route? Again, the weird thing, the thing I'll nitpick about Otome Kitten's guide in this point is I'm pretty freaking sure it says, like, oh, you can do the common route at any time, but I don't really think you were supposed to do the common route first. I think it was you can do it after doing one of the other routes. You know what I mean? But it does work. You can technically play it first because we did. But the game isn't registering that as a route in a way, which is weird. I don't know. Anyway, I pick something up the moment I see it, but it causes Keith to make a troubled expression. Sister, what's that? What's it look like? It's a water gun, no? The shape is different, but there's a trigger and a place to put water. It looks like those bamboo water guns that my brothers played with in my past life. Isn't that dangerous? It's fine. Look, all you need to do is... I turn around and shoot the water gun at Keith to show him, but... Did she shoot him in the face? I love the little chibi CGs. Huh? The jet of water stronger than I expected. The direct hit on Keith wets his soft bangs. Sister. Like so sinister. Sorry, Keith. I didn't think it'd be that strong. I love it. Sister, can I see that? Here you go. Feeling awfully guilty, I hand the water gun to Keith. Oh, he's so getting you back. He's hosing you. Ugh, I get the feeling he's gonna get me back. Maybe it'll be 5 times harder, but if it's payback, I have to take it. It's my fault for shooting the water at him. I close my eyes and wait for it. But the water never comes. I cautiously open my eyes and see Keith taking apart the water gun to pour out the water inside. Well, that's no fun. Huh? I thought you were going to shoot me with it. I could never do that to you, sister. But I'm confiscating this. What? But I didn't get to play with it yet! Sorry. Exasperated chibi face is so funny. We can't know just how much trouble you'd cause with this. I can't allow that. We wouldn't want you to get carried away and get hurt. Okay. Even now, it was fortunate that it was with me. If you did this to Prince Jordo... I'd hardly mind if Katerina should cause me trouble. Indeed, I would rather look forward to making up. And that scheming side of him is what separates him from Keith. I hope you don't trouble Katerina too much. Yes, of course. Look at him in the background beaming with those little sparkles. Nerd. Are you sure you get it? So cute. Oh god. Okay. We enjoy our time playing in the pool. Okay, so everybody's gonna... Pool time. We'll see if we get the next choice. Because I just don't know how you're supposed to... And again, unless it only pops up after you do a full love interest route and the common route doesn't count. Oh, we're Alan now. This is a new scene. This stopped here. Because, I mean, I'm assuming, like, after getting out of the pool, I, Ellen Stewart, sit alone in my room thinking back on Katerina's words. I like how, do you ever do that? I, insert your name here, sit alone in my room thinking. Do you ever just announce who you are to yourself? Alan, what the actual fuck? I know it popped up in the corner probably, and like we missed it, but it's still funny. It reminds her of our tree climbing races. And to be quite honest, the way she whispered to me about those precious days, I felt rather agitated. That's interesting, because we're not in your route. I've only recently become aware of my feelings. I'm not used to these things. It's hard to remain calm when she's so close. This is awkward! This is awkward when we're not even in your route, sir! I did choose Keith, right? Did I open the wrong... No, Keith is right there. That's him. And everything we've been getting is the little yellow flowers, so why are we... Why? No? Listen, I know Alan's in love with us, but I don't want him to spell it out for me right now because it makes it awkward. And Katerina Clays. Only just realized, but I've liked her for so long. Ah! Awkward! Prince Alan, you have things you're good at and things you're bad at. We all have things we handle well and things we don't. That's what she said to me when I was always so irritable from being compared to my twin brother. When I was small, I was called the dregs of my twin brother Jordo. Oh, thing. That explains why you turned out the way you did in the real game and not this version. You know what I mean? He was just like cold and aloof. Makes sense. No matter what we did, Jorda would accomplish it masterfully without so much as breaking a sweat. Even though we're twins, there was a yawning chasm of difference between us. The servants used to gossip, saying that Jorda must have taken all the good traits when we were in the womb. Oh! While I became more self-conscious around Jordo, he didn't show any interest in me. That's what I believed, anyway. But after meeting Katerina, I realized that I'd been making assumptions and was able to regain my own sense of self. We've been close since childhood, but it wasn't until an incident in our first year at the academy that I realized my feelings. Sorry. What you doing? Why? Sorry. I had a text from before, and then I was like, fuck, I forgot I have mail from my landlord, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't him trying to, like, be like, hey, I'm gonna swing by. I was like, please take your mail. I have to remind him constantly. Like, you text, and he's like, okay, I'll be by in, like, tomorrow, or, like, it was over the weekend, of course, so, like, fine. It was, like, a Friday, or whatever. So, I'll be by Monday. It's Wednesday. Not if like, put it on your fucking calendar, Jesus Christ. Because I don't like being the person that's like, hey, I still have mail for you. Hey, I still have mail. I don't want to have to remind you 32 times, because I feel like I'm annoying you. Put it on your fucking calendar. Because you were at work, put it on your work calendar. Stop by to pick up mail. Like, put it somewhere on your phone, something. Remind yourself. Write it down. Jesus Christ, dude. I don't want to have to remind you 42 times because I feel like an asshole, and I also don't like having text people like constantly for shit. You know what I mean? I was like, oh dear God. I'm like, obviously I haven't reminded him in a couple days, but I'm like, if he doesn't say anything, I'll have to text him tomorrow. Like, hey, I still have fucking mail for you, Jesus. Ugh. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted to make sure that like, I'm like, oh fuck. While I'm up here, because in case I hear the doorbell for some reason, I don't want to assume it's the Spectrum guy that hasn't left us alone for 2 weeks. Hasn't come around this week, which is kind of disappointing because I got a sign that says stop knocking on my motherfucking door. I don't have it up yet, but like, you know, I kind of wanted to put the sign up as I see him walking around and be like, yeah, let's see if he takes notice of it. I'm not going to know. Which is actually a good thing. I'll be like, I put that sign up and nobody's come around and like rang my doorbell. So like, I don't know if it's working. That should be a sign it's working. You know what I mean? I don't have it out yet, to be fair. But anyway, I can't believe that I'll be spending a week on her, with her. I was like, I read on the ship, but before it, I was like, a week on her on this ship. I'm like, what? A week with her on this ship. Jesus. Although our other childhood friends are also here, I'm still feeling restless. She always leaves herself so unguarded. I think back to Katerina in her swimsuit, lays a hand on my forehead with a sigh. And the other ladies looked embarrassed, but Katerina showed none of it. She doesn't distinguish between girlfriends and guy friends. It's made me turn red so many times. Remembering any more will only make it worse. I shake my head and make myself get up. But memories of Katerina smiling and laughing at the pool flash through my thoughts, making me dizzy with love sickness once more. You can't do this to me, game. We didn't have any of these asides like this pining over me when we were in Jordo's route. Why would you do this? Why would you do this now? Why? Okay, so she's hungry. So let's see if we ever get that next choice to... Aha! Okay, here we go. So, alright. So then the choice appears after your first playthrough is a first route. Not your actual playthrough. Because the first playthrough we got the common route ending. But that doesn't count. So fine. Which is weird, but anyway, cover it up. Wow, what chucking thunder that was! I feel like we... Why does that feel familiar like we did this? Huh? Thunder? There must be a storm approaching. I was merely thinking to find a little to eat before it arrives. Unfortunately, my stomach growls again, ruining my attempts to play it off. I don't think I can play dumb any longer. I look up at him and see his shoulders shaking. Oh no, is he upset with me? Sorry, that wasn't really thunder. It was just my stomach. But as I panic on what to say, he looks at me with a smile. Are you hungry? Unfortunately, this is all I have on me right now. But if you'd like... Okay, and this is where he whips out the gummy candies. Oh! I'm sorry, it was the CG with Rozzy where you're like, oh, look how precious you are. He is adorable. He really is beautiful, isn't he? Damn. Listen, it's not that I don't enjoy the 4 original characters. Alan is my favorite out of the 4 of them because he has that salty bitch look on him, and you know how much I love our salty marshmallows. You know how much I'm into that. So that's exactly what I want. We go eat. Let's go and eat up! I begin to walk, brimming with anticipation, only to be stopped as Keith grabs my hand. Sister, and be sure to remember what we told you. Of course. Don't worry, I'll remember. What did you tell me? And then, can you repeat it back to me? Keith really is acting more and more like Mother every day. We reviewed everything so much in the carriage, but he still isn't satisfied. Don't run, be ladylike, close my mouth when I eat, don't cause any trouble. I mumble, counting on my fingers as we walk to the party hall. When we arrive, Keith finally gives me the okay, signaling the end of our review session. Do you remember what we talked about? Yes! And what was it? Don't remember, I wasn't listening. Something I should probably be doing, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go stuff my face, thanks. That's exactly what it was. Don't stuff your face! Oh, my stomach is growling again. Mine's a little bit growling myself, you know. Dancing with Jordo. That's the first dance memory scenario. We're okay missing that one because we've already read that one. Excuse me! Why is Silva in a waiter costume? Why is Silva in a waiter costume? See, this is the first time we've seen this. I'm sorry, I'm thrown for a loop. The man looks ready to jump out of his skin when I call him. Is my villainous face really that scary? Don't worry, I'm not scary, I say with a smile as I approach that waiter. What do you have to drink? Well, what do you like? Oh, I prefer something sweet. I mean, we've seen waiters before, but I don't think we've ever seen Silva as a waiter. Because, like, I'm pretty sure I would have... Am I dumb? Did we see... I know there was a scene where she got a drink from a waiter, but I don't think there was a Sprite for them. Because they're side characters, they're not important, and now well, some of the pirates have Sprites, but, like, this is clear. I'm not crazy. Like, I feel crazy. I'm like... And someone is seriously... One of you motherfuckers is thinking about it and is like, I'm just going to type and be like, Silva who? That waiter guy's always been here. His name is Waiter. Who's Silva? Just to fuck with me. You know you were thinking it. I'm losing my mind. I thought there was a pirate and this whole time it's really just been a waiter. Oh my god. Oh, I prefer something sweet. Despite my obviously mature appearance, I do have a preference for the sweet things in life. My mother and Keith don't like it when I drink too many sweet things, though, so I make sure I don't do it too often. And then, try this. It's a juice made from pineapples grown in Quid. Wow, that looks delicious! I gulp it down faster than it's handed to me. Ew, I live again! It's sweet and refreshing, it goes down so smoothly. I've been preoccupied with the drink, but now I notice the waiter staring. Oh. Maybe I was a little too eager there. But it was so delicious. It was so delicious that I couldn't help myself. Keith would be furious if he saw me. Salvaging the scraps of my dignity, I wipe my mouth with a handkerchief and place the glass back upon the tray as elegantly as I can. What might be the matter? No, nothing at all. Excuse me. He bows and leaves. Feeling relieved, I head back to the food table. I like how Nicole just flew in. And Katerina. Lord Nickel? I turn, hearing Nickel's voice, and I notice him carrying a plate filled with food and desserts. Oh, sweet bastard. I noticed you didn't get the chance to try the food you were looking forward to. If you'd like, you can have this. I piled up all the food and like, did you happen to want the food that I got for you? But I'm just gonna pretend I didn't. You know what? Points for you, sweetie. Thank you so much, Lord Nickel. Nickel is I know I switch in my brain between Nicole's. I get Nicole and Nickel and Nickel, like in between because like I don't fucking know. So thanks, Ned. He's Ned now. Ned is so considerate. Even here in the middle of a party, he's always perceptive to those around him. I take the plate and fork from him and begin to look over all my delicious options. They all look so good. And it's party food, so they all look so elaborate. I feel like we could skip this now. Yeah, okay. Go for the fish. I forgot that where we were that I could actually... Because, I'm sorry, Waiter Silva threw me off. Because I'm pretty sure we've never seen that before. And I got very confused that we could have skipped that. But anyway. It's okay, we got a minute with Ned. I was going to start changing his name, Neil. Nancy. Like... I'm now literally out of N names. There's a bazillion of them. Nathan. Nathaniel. Back to Ned. I can't think of any more. Like, I'm running out. I gotta write a list of N names and just call them a different one every time. Anyway. Keith's romance? Oh, right. It has to be Keith. Keith was acting awfully strange when I saw him near the end of the party. He seemed like he was daydreaming, but looking back, he might have felt sick. He looked a bit pale, and he didn't have an appetite. Maybe Keith was feeling exhausted after dealing with so many Quidian ladies. Either way, I want to eat my fill of that feast tomorrow. I didn't get to eat until I was satisfied today. I was so preoccupied with how Keith was acting, I completely forgot to eat. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Aren't you glad when I do the in-between music? Oh, no. Oh, we're just saying that. Okay. In my dream, I'm 8 years old again. I am my younger self with a scar on my forehead, but I'm not at home. Where am I? Seems familiar, but... Oh, is this... Yeah, well, I mean, it's a new scene, so it must be a new CG. Look at little baby Katarina. Look at her cute little necklace. I'm assuming we're Keith. Are you hungry? I hear a nostalgic voice. Someone gave me sweets, but who was it? I should know them well, but I just can't recall. My vision's blurry. Can't make out their face. What kinds of sweets were they? Where did I get them? My past life? No, that's not it. It isn't that far into my past. Something more recent. In another place, far from here. I would assume it's Keith because we're heading into his route and we haven't had this scene before, so... I think I was dreaming of something, but I can't remember. What was I dreaming of? Well, never mind that. Hungry. I knew I hadn't eaten much. Okay. I kind of just wish the skip would stay on. You know what I mean? That also explains why Silva was in the kitchen, because he was pretending to be a waiter. You know? But I do feel like I wish the skip would stay on. Oh, I know why this seems familiar, because in some of the other ones it says invite to breakfast. Choice appears after the first playthrough. And that's why when I saw the other one, I was like, it seems like I feel like we've said this, but I just remember the choices popping up in the other ones. The say what to say when they show up. You know what I mean? So we say I'm hungry. Anyways, I'm starving. Oh? Rosie looks surprised at my words. When I see that, I remember he just gave me food a little while ago. Oh, shoot! That makes it sound like what he gave me didn't help at all. And certainly it makes it sound like I'm a total glutton. I begin to wave my hands in a panic. Well, wait, Rosie, the bar you gave me was really delicious, but I actually didn't get to eat much last night. Huh, that's not so. Are you okay? And that's why I'm extra hungry this morning. Actually, would you like to have breakfast together? After I say it, I realize what a good idea it is. This is my chance to introduce Rosie to everyone. I've promised to have breakfast with my friends, and I'd like to introduce you to them. Will you come with me? You know what I mean? Like, I hate the fact that if I hit skip and it's like, okay, it doesn't just stay on and start skipping when you get to the point. You have to keep clicking it. It's annoying. That's a stupid coding decision, too. So, like, that's why sometimes I keep reading, because I'm like, I'm expecting it to start skipping when we're back to where we are, but skip doesn't persist, and I don't like that. Don't ask. And then after a choice, you have to click skip again. That doesn't bother me, because I'm kind of used to that, where you have to, like, after a choice, you click skip again. Fine. You know, it's the fact that when I click skip, we read, and it just, like, it doesn't stay on. You know what I mean? I don't know. It should persist. We like the Playboy types, obviously, because that is yeah, okay. The Playboy types, because that was Keith in the original game. It makes more, again, you don't have to watch the anime, but like I said when we were doing Jordan, it does make more sense when you kind of learn a little bit. Again, I still have not. I watched the first 4 episodes, have not gone back and watched like the rest of it, because there's a part of me that's like, I don't really want to, like, I know it doesn't really spoil anything, but at the same time I'm like, I don't want it to, but I feel like the first 4 episodes helped a little bit understand how each of the character, like, when you get to this point and you're like, why is Keith the Playboy type? That makes no fucking sense. He's not like that at all. It makes more sense if you've at least seen the first 4 episodes and you're like, okay, in the game, he was the Playboy. And I suppose I should have made that logical conclusion, but, like, you know, I didn't, so it was a little confusing, you know? But anyway, maybe a Playboy. Think about the game version of Keith, but then I quickly reconsider. That version of Keith was good looking, but as his adoptive sister, I like him more the way he is now. I'm proud of him. What do you mean by Playboy? I'm not too sure, and Lady Katarina looks like she's having second thoughts about it, so maybe that's not really even her type. Yeah, I take that one back. So, what's really your type then? Men! I like men. Actually, Frederick is my type. You put glasses on that motherfucker? Dead. Like, what's your type, Frederick? What? He's an asshole. Yeah. No. I like him really fucking mean, douchey. He's right up my alley. He's so awful! Okay, to be fair, he was really mean to Sophia, and I do think he deserves a big punch in the face and a swift kick to the nuts. But then we'll fix him, okay? So we're gonna beat him up a little, then I'm gonna fix him and make him a goddamn salty marshmallow. Alan's the closest thing I have to a salty marshmallow, and he's... Let's be real, he kind of fails at it. He's actually too sweet. He's a little crunchy, but not quite as marshmallowy. He's not quite the marshmallow that I look for. Frederick's the perfect one. You know what I mean? Because he is, like, such a raging dick. You know? Alan's the closest thing we get in the love interest. So, anyway. I imagined it. Still, Violet, huh? That sounds familiar somehow. Okay, this is another one that appears after your first playthrough. So we have a couple of those. Well, I must have imagined it. I try to rack my brain, but nothing really comes to mind. I'm convinced I imagined it. Okay. And then we should get into Keith's route, so. Cool. Keith! And this time he'll come with us. Oh no! Well, we haven't gotten kidnapped by the pirates yet. Never mind. It's just he's in sickbay. So, I don't watch. He's in the infirmary. I said sickbay like I watched too much fucking Star Trek or fucking... You know what I've been really thinking that I really need to rewatch? I would need to whip out the 1990s again and watch Sequest. It's like, fuck, man. The cheesy-ass sci-fi shows back in the day were the best. I love Star Trek The Next Generation. That shit was like fucking Star Trek is great. Cheesy as fuck. What I like. But like, they don't say the infirmary, it's sickbay! Like, I watch too much sci-fi! That just naturally came out, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't just, like, I'm sorry. I didn't need to advertise what a nerd I am. You already know. Like, this is not a secret. So, I was never hiding it well if I was trying to hide it, which I never am, to be fair, so. We're Keith. With sister out of sight, I let out a sigh. So pitiful, making her worry like this. I always want to be at her side to protect her. I never thought I'd end up in such a sorry state. Too worried about leaving sister to her own devices. She's already befriended that engineer Rosie the moment I was absent. I know how she is. We've been together since we were young. Her personality is magnetic. I've observed it time and time again. That's true. How is this gonna go? Because we've always gotten kidnapped by the pirates, but like, Keith was never there. How are we gonna... Huh. Sister. It's just the same way for me. She saved me from the darkness. Her smile at my side brightens my day. I exist to protect her, so I have to keep myself together at all times. Well, everyone else is here, so I hope things will be okay. But knowing how unpredictable she is, who else will she unexpectedly charm? You'd never think her noble, how open she is. I can't help but worry some malicious trickster will prey upon her in my absence. You mean like a sexy pirate? He's gonna be soft. I'm sure that Prince Jordo's keeping watch for all that, but leaving her to him is a danger all in itself. The Prince Jordo's head over heels for sister. Who knows what might happen if they find themselves alone together? Terrified. I rise to my feet in a rush, but the sudden vertigo knocks me right back down. Vision shakes violently as I lie back. So dumb. I sigh to myself, staring at the ceiling. At her side will be Lady Mary, a formidable rival, but a trustworthy guardian. And Miss Campbell will be there as well, but... more rivals. He's sister. I love that everybody knows that everybody else is a rival for Katarina's affection. We're all her friends, and we kind of, like, we're friends with each other, but, like, we will knife each other. This will be the Hunger Games. Only one will fucking survive. This will be a bloodbath if it needs to be, to find out who will take her fucking home. Like, they will stab each other. If Katarina was like, you know what, I decided to whip out my Villainess now, and I think you all need to battle to the death for me. They'd do it, no questions asked. You know? She could literally hit her head, become a Villainess again, and be like, fight for me! Fight and die for me. And they would literally, in the last man standing, would be like, alright, cool, marry you. And like, I'm just saying, all bets are off. But yet she's totally fucking clueless that anybody even, like, not just besties with her. Like, God, it's so funny. Like, I mean, you gotta think in any other Otome game you play that, like, some characters know. Like, they never really delve into it, like, the rivals, or like, oh, you're into her, I'm into her. Because they kind of always play it off like, in the beginning, okay, you're meeting all the characters, whatever, it's a common route, they're just there, and maybe there's an interest, but you as the player see it. Maybe the main character does, but the other characters don't really acknowledge it. It's not like, whoa, Bob, the fuck, are you flirting with her? Because I want to flirt with her. What the shit? You know what I mean? They don't bring it to the surface. So it's kind of just there under the surface, like nobody acknowledges it. And then you go down Route A, and then everybody else is like, oh, you're into her. Okay, cool. Like, they had no interest whatsoever. Or like, they might make a little like, oh man, if he doesn't, I will. Ha ha ha. You know, and it's like a throwaway thing, but it's not like this level with like, we're all rivals. Where like everybody knows everybody else is in love with Katarina, and it is a full-on fucking like silent battle for her. But in every other Otome game that's like never even brought up, it's like, shh, don't talk about that. You know, as the player and the main character, that everybody's in love with you, but also they're not. They're not. You know, it's fine. But like in this one, they're like, no, everyone's fucking in love with you, dumbass. Like, kind of fun. But it also makes you feel bad when you don't, like, okay, that's not true. You know the childhood friend is always in love with you and is always desperate for you, and they're the ones you kind of feel bad about. You're like, yeah, I know they're in love with me, and I'm going to date everyone else but them. But in this one, you're like, every single person is blatantly in love with you and is basically spelling it out for her. Like, you could pretend in any other game, any other route aside from the childhood friend, okay, is like, oh yeah, no, they might like you, but maybe they haven't fallen in love with you. Like, nah, I respect you. We're pals. Because you didn't say those one or two things that flipped their switch to making them fall madly in love with you. But in this one, not too late. We flipped those switches when we were a child, and they've been building tension ever since. It's too late now. There's no off switch. All these motherfuckers would pounce you in a hot second given the opportunity. And that's fucking bizarre for an Otome game. They usually don't, again, spell it out for you like this. But it's fucking funny. But it's kind of nerve-wracking, because you're like, everybody's in love with me, and I feel bad just choosing one. Just let me have a harem, okay? Just a harem thing. Like, come on, you set this game up for it. Anyway, no more rivals. I pray in my heart and close my eyes. No more rivals. He's like, I can't handle the Rozzy. No more rivals. Hey, Silva! It's finally time for the party. I was short on time, my worries about Keith exacerbating the issue. When all's done, I look the part. Oh, we're still not in Keith's route yet. Oh, okay, never mind. I was just wondering, I'm like, have we skipped into Keith's route yet? No, we haven't gotten the transition into. My heart burns with passion, reforging my resolve to see my mission through. Oh, this looks good. It's great. Because there's so few people, most of the food's untouched. I go from one end to the other, eating and eating. I was really hoping Skip would click. Like, she was eating, sorry. The feeling of fullness hits me like a truck, a piece of pie still in my mouth. This is rough. I overate. My stomach feels tight, to the point that I feel sick. Lady Katerina, what's the matter? I feel sick. There you go again. Lady Katerina, are you alright? Let's get you to the infirmary. Maria, Mary, and Sophia look worried as they accompany me. And so the second day concludes with me taking an early respite. Yeah, because she overate and stuffed herself. Now we're in Keith's route. Okay, here you go. Frustrating weakness. I'll make a man out of you! Back to being Keith and in the past. Don't come any closer, you bastard child! Monster, go away! Why are they calling him a monster? You're an eyesore, get lost! He withdrew because of those abusive words. No one needed me. No one wanted me. I felt so lonely then, but things have changed. After meeting my beloved Katerina Clays. I begin to feel sick after eating too much. Now I'm laying down in the infirmary. Don't you bite my headset, bird. Lady Katerina, how are you? That was the whiniest way to say that, I'm sorry. The doctor will bring you medicine any minute. Please wait just a little longer. Seriously, why are you like this? Katerina, allow me to give you a back massage. You gotta love Jordo for being completely oblivious to how stupid we are sometimes, and everybody else being like, God, girl, stop overeating, and he's like, it's okay, eat as much as you want. Do you want more? We can pump your stomach, and then you'll be back at it. It'll be fine. Like, he's just, like, so in love with you, he's almost as derpy as you are sometimes. You don't have to do that, Prince Jordo. Please, leave that to me. My dear friends tend to me while I groan in bed. Then I notice someone watching from the bed beside me. Sister, what are you doing? Well, I ate too much. I feel sick from eating too much. Combined with the constant rocking of the ship, it makes me feel nauseous. Keith sighs as I fight my nausea. Didn't I tell you not to overeat earlier? You're the Duke's daughter, sister. And make sure you aren't the focus of any odd rumors. Yeah, I know. I'll be more careful about that starting tomorrow. Maybe. Anyway, how are you, Keith? Oh, feeling better than I was this evening. Don't! Eddie gave me some medicine and let me sleep here in the infirmary. It's the first time I've had Quid's medicine, and I've heard it's quite effective. It was a little difficult for me to drink, though. Difficult to drink? What kind of medicine was it? Don't worry, Oh, don't worry about it. It's no different from the medicine you know. It's just a little bitter. The doctor then turns to hand me the bitter-looking medicine. It reminds me of a kale smoothie I had in my past life. Do I have to drink all this? If you don't, you'll be sick for the whole trip. It's super bitter, but it's very effective. And they do say that good medicine is bitter, so tough it out and drink it, alright? Lady Katerina, you can do this! Lady Katerina, I'm cheering for you! My friends cheer for me as I struggle to get the medicine into my mouth. Alright, let's do this! I make up my mind and swallow the medicine without a thought, and I freeze. The most bitter thing I've had in my life! How bitter is this? Lady Katerina? My friends gather around me to see if I'm okay, but the truth is, I'm not. The taste is so bad that I break into a cold sweat. However, I can't just spit it out in front of them, so I desperately try to get the medicine down with tears in my eyes. They need straws, so that you can, avoid most of it on your tongue. You know what I mean? Lady Katerina, I'm impressed. Are you alright, Lady Katerina? You managed to take your medicine. Good for you, Katerina. Oh boy, that was so bitter. While I'm glad to receive praise from everyone, the bitter aftertaste lingering in my mouth is agonizing. Guess I'm gonna have to use my ace in the hole. I'll just eat that thing in my pocket. I'm lucky I nabbed this during the party. I'm so sick I ate too much. Oh, I got food in my pocket. I reach my hand into my pocket and pull out a neatly wrapped cookie. Delicious! The contrasting soft yet crumbly texture of the cookie melts a sweet aroma into my mouth. The bitter taste isn't completely gone yet, so I reach into my pockets to pull out more sweets. Sugar cookies, sweet bonbons, and chocolate-covered almonds, all neatly wrapped up. I pocketed the ones that were easy to carry around. Oh my god. What's next? I just ate a cookie, so... Hey, are you really gonna eat more? Sister, didn't you get sick from eating too much? This is why she's such a fucking idiot, but this is why it's goddamn funny. No! These are for you, Keith! Because you never got to... Even if that's the case, it's way too much. Sure you saved some for yourself. No, well, maybe. There's really no excuse for the huge pile of snacks in my lap. Seems I got carried away and brought too many. You're like, yeah, well... Later in the middle of the night when I'm hungry, and also got rid of that bitter taste in my mouth, so... Well, Keith, they're all just so delicious, and I wanted to enjoy some with you. I really did think about bringing some for Keith when I saw the snacks all neatly wrapped. All the food on the ship is good, and it lasts long because it's baked, right? So I thought we could have some together after you feel like eating again. What do you say, Keith? Memory scenario. Tea time. When we were young, Sister would always try to make me eat lots of snacks. Here, this is yours, Keith. Have as much as you like. Sister attempted to dump a pile of snacks onto my plate during our tea time. I was grateful for her kindness, but since it was more than I could eat, I shook my head in refusal. This is a little too much, Sister. I'm happy with just this. I took just a few snacks onto my plate with a forced smile, but Sister looked scandalized. Meanwhile, with her pile of food, you look at her scandalized. So I'm just saying, one person's scandal is another person's giant plate of snacks. That's enough for you? It is, really. Sister stared into my eyes, long and hard, as if trying to inform me of her suspicions. It seemed she thought I was being modest. In honesty, I had already taken more than I wanted. But when I tried to say as much, Sister only drew closer, Madeline in hand. She still had yet to give up. Well, you can take one more at least. No, really, Sister. This is enough for me. If anything, it's a little too much. Is it? Yes, but I am thankful for your consideration, Sister. I smiled at her, trying to show her that I was satisfied, but she only nodded sadly. All right. But if you still aren't full after you clear your plate, you have to tell me, okay? We still have a ton. It appeared my considerate sister was determined to see me eat my fill of snacks. In thinking of it, sister's always like this. She'd ask if I had enough during breakfast, or ask if I wanted snacks while studying. A mother would drag her out and scold her. And now that I think of it, sister always tries to be at my side. It wasn't only meal times, but also when we were training in magic, or when we would study math and language. And this was unfamiliar to me. In my birth family, I never would have been allowed to interact with others this way. It was a little awkward. But it was also comfortable. It was so new to me that I never found it annoying. In fact, I was very happy. But why does she do it? She's nice to you because she doesn't want you to turn into the playboy that then gets her killed in the Doom realm. Okay. Because, so now you see Keith's backstory. All I know from the anime is, when he showed up, she basically, was a dick to him and he locked himself in his room. But that's part of, so he was always lonely. But it sounds like from here, and the way the other kids were treating him, which we just saw earlier, and then this, he's always been lonely and treated like he doesn't exist. So her being social, so when he came here, her in the actual game, the Fortune Lover game, being a douche, making him lock himself away and being lonely, caused him to then, when he gets to the Magic Academy, just become a man whore. He just, flips the complete opposite switch, becomes a whore. That's why he's the playboy. You know what I mean? Never gonna be lonely if I got a different bitch in my bed. You know? But her trying to avoid the Doom flags, no, I'm gonna be super nice to him and we're gonna be friends and I'm gonna make sure he's never alone. Constantly by his side. And he already had that lonely trauma, and then now her doing this is what changed him. So you can kind of see. Had I seemed that unreliable? But finally, curiosity got the better of me, and I asked. His sister looked at me and smiled. It's because I'm so happy to have a little brother. I've always wanted one since I didn't have one in my past life. Past life? I had no idea what she meant by that, but I understood she was doing it because she was happy to have a little brother. See, so that's why. She always wanted a younger brother. I could tell those were her earnest feelings from the look on her face. My heart grew warm and my cheeks got hot. I was so happy. I am accepted here. Once more I recognized that fact, but as I relished that happiness, sister peered into my eyes worriedly. Keith, you haven't been eating. Is something wrong? Right. I was only thinking. Sister paused as she mumbled, and then she put the Madeline on my plate again. Or Madeline, however you say those cookies. In that case, you should eat something sweet. You must be tired after using your brain, right? And it's funny that she's always eating because she definitely does not use her brain very often, is all I'm saying. Throwing shade at her. I love her, don't get me wrong, but she did not use her brain very often. Huh? Tried to explain that I was just happy about what she had said, but a look of shock suddenly crossed Sister's face. Don't tell me you were on a diet, Keith. If you are, stop it right now. You're a growing boy. No, I'm not, but... Then did you not like these snacks? Maybe you don't like sweets. Sister's imagination started to run wild, all in response to my refusing snacks. She was always like this, overthinking things and surprising me by jumping to conclusions. Never guess what she was thinking. But I didn't want her to misunderstand my happiness, so I shook my head. No, sister, I love sweets, and I love having tea with you like this even more. Really? Yes, of course. When I nodded and smiled, sister leaned toward me, eyes sparkling. I could feel my cheeks getting hot from her expressive happiness. That was just how things were around her. She would teach me new feelings just by looking me in the eyes. See, that sounds like nobody ever looked him in the eyes. Back with my birth family, I have no doubt I would never have learned these emotions. Happiness, comfort, and love. See? So then in the Fortune Lover game, her being like his birth family just reinforced all those negative feelings. Her changing and being like, I want to avoid the Doom flags, taught him all these things, and that's why he's a different person. I got to experience so many new things, and it was all thanks to her. Not for sister barging her way into my life, I'd still be locked away in my room. Never have found at the time I spent with someone to be this precious. Anyway, you should have some more. Keith, you know sweets are best when you're tired, right? You definitely look tired now. Sister was already piling the previously declined snacks onto my plate as she spoke. Hope I have the strength. I was worried I'd be too full for dinner, but I appreciated her concern, so I accepted. This is my burden for making her worry. When I took a bite of one of the snacks on my plate, Sister's eyes shined with her smile. How is it? Isn't it delicious? This snack has cream in it, but if you eat it like this... Sister happily told me this and that about the treat. She continued on to the other things. How the freshly made snacks from the kitchen were the most delicious and the most popular snacks sold in town. How she tried to make her own and mortified the cooks. Wow. Snacks. Help but smile, looking at Sister talk so much about a single sweet snack. I was convinced that she would never fail to widen my world. I could stay by her side like this, and I could eventually become a snack master. And maybe I will one day. Really await it. But though I was excited for my widening future, I couldn't help but wish that peaceful tea time might last forever. Anyway, so I thought we could have some together after you feel like eating again. What do you say, Keith? All right. And there's no way I can scold you after hearing you say something like that. Sister, that's really sweet of you. I'm relieved to see Keith smile. All right then, Keith. Which do you want first? You can have them all, you know. After all, I brought them here for you. Oh, no, Oh, don't be shy. Want a cookie? I was going to say, I want a cookie, and that's the right one. I know, we don't have a good place to end, so we're going to go a little long. Do you want some cookies? The flavor on this one is delicate, and I love it. Here, Keith, have one. As I hold the cookie out to Keith's mouth, his eyes suddenly become all shifty. Maybe it's all in my head, but he seems to be avoiding eye contact with Mary and Jordo, because he knows they're desperately in love with you, and they would love to be fed a cookie by you. Thanks, but you don't have to do that. Also, I still don't have an appetite, so... Look at him, he's a little blushy and awkward. He's like, oh, she's feeding me a cookie. Ah! Stop trying to turn this boy on in front of everyone. Oh, okay. Well, tell me when you've got an appetite. Keith doesn't want it. I have no choice but to eat it myself. This really is good. As I smile to myself, Mary leans in toward me. Lady Katerina, I'll bring some sweets with me next time too. So please have them with me. I will bring some sweets with me too next time. That's what she said. Anyway, I read that, but same difference. Katerina, I shall bring some rare snacks just for you. I'll make some for you again. Then I shall provide you with the most extraordinary tea. Thank you, everyone. I'm so happy. Maybe next time we can all bring something to have a tea party. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Lady Katerina! As Mary rushes over to hug me, the door opens and Ryle enters the infirmary. Okay, good. We can stop here. I was like, good God, we're going to keep going here? This is a long-ass scene. Oh! I know he's kind of evil, but he's hot. He's got the glasses. Why are our side assholes hot? Like, okay, I don't really want to blame him. He's doing what the Premier wants, and he's like, look, I'm just roped in. I just want to pretend that's the case, okay? Because, like, he was on the Premier's side, and the Premier is the one that kidnapped Maria. I don't know if Ryle was really involved, or he was like, I guess I gotta go along with it, and my boss, or if he was like, yes. I don't know how evil he was in the evil scheme. But, like, we gotta, like, smack him on the back, like, rolled up newspaper, smack him on the nose. No! Bad Ryle, we don't do that. We don't kidnap people. Okay? But I'm gonna give him a pass because he's adorable, and look at his glasses. Oh, but he's totally in love with his wife. Listen, I'm just saying, she's not on this boat, right? Because she could have an accident. Alright? But, like, and then, like, Frederick is a total twat. He is a total twat talking about Sophia like that. But, man... God, do we love the douchebags who just, like, hate women and are just so awful, because, like, you know we can, like, warm them up and, like, soften them on the inside. Again, like, we just melt so easily. I got enough on my plate with these other chuckle fucks following me around. Plus, now we got Rozzy and fucking Silva, but, like, gotta be honest, I'm glad you added those game because those two are I like them. They're my favorites. Like, ugh. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.